How's it going, guys? We're back with another video after taking a few weeks off. Had some personal life things, my real life comes first before this channel, so just gotta take care of stuff like that when it comes up. And had a camping trip there in between, and plus the build that we're coming back here with. It took a little bit longer than I intended. Figured again, I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense for me to ramble about the same build twice by breaking it up into parts for you guys. It's better to do it all in one video for you guys and for myself. That way I'm not rehashing stuff I've already told you guys before. So this time we're here back with the new custom that we did, the Power GM. I wound up doing that one instead of the Jesta Master Grade, which we'll probably do next. As you can see, there's a very similar build. Not been heavily in focus, but we'll put some B-roll footage of them up together. This high power GM we did very much akin to another custom that I painted a while ago that hasn't been featured on this channel in an official video capacity. A master grade GM sniper custom RGM79SC. Similar GM variant. Obviously, they just have a slightly different outfit for. They're obviously outfitted slightly differently for what the purposes they need to serve. It's purples, grays, that's, and obviously the fluorescent pink. To me, it looks like a really cool color scheme for a grunt suit. I don't know. There's just something. Obviously, again, coming back to that. Me in purples, it's a very frequent thing. It's a common occurrence. I love using purples. I always enjoy it. So no shock to you guys at this point, even only being a handful of videos into the inception of this channel. It's my favorite thing to do. I love incorporating them any chance I get. And this one, we definitely made purple more of a much bigger focal point in many regards with this concept. I'm going to do a third one to complete a squad eventually. Just haven't quite decided which one I want to do that with yet. So I don't know if we'll do a grunt or maybe some kind of Gundam variant that I would pair up with it. That might make a little bit of sense. So have a neat little squad to make this look unique and complete. This color scheme was very inspired by somebody who's unfortunately no longer really involved with building Gunpla or painting or anything like that. He's no longer doing that, which is totally fine. That's kind of part of life. We walk our own path and we set off in different ways. So, but I just would be very remiss if I didn't at least bring that up. I don't really want to name his name to keep because he's a very private person. So I'll just leave it at that. It's very inspired by him. Very much a fellow lover of purples when he was active with painting model kits and stuff. So again, don't want to name names, respect his privacy and things direction he's chosen to go in life. So just wanted to say that's where the inspiration came from. It was from a build that he did. I just seen some of those like, oh man, I'd really like to somehow do something similar without totally ripping off of what he did, but also pay a little bit of tribute. So, but let's get into some of the colors. And I guess the same goes for both of these. We used the Splash Paints Ava Mecha Purple again, that very light purple that you're seeing in there, and then AOK Purple number 3 that you're seeing. That's like that slightly darker purple. The Gaia Notes color that you're seeing, that really bluish gray that you're seeing in there. That is funny enough, it's got the name blue in it. It's a Gaia Notes. It's a blue fog white. I don't fully follow the naming conventions of Gaia Notes colors. I just know that they're very good, and I like them. And this was a very cool gray to use on there. And then the really dark gray that you're seeing there, I guess I would really call it a dark gray, or maybe it's a lightened shade of black. Whatever your eye chooses to see. That stuff that's almost like looks like a very dark, dark, dark gray, or a lightened black. That is just the Gaia Notes Frost Matte Black. And then the Gaia Notes Fluorescent Pink is for the visor and some of the accent parts, especially on the Power GM. I put that in a couple spots. I chose to just paint the visors full on, just to give that facade of like the visors being illuminated. So that's why I just painted the visors entirely. I debated painting the inner frame section to kind of give off that effect, but I don't know. I just preferred that, and that's the direction I went in. And obviously, for the sake of some consistency between these builds, I just chose to do the same thing for the Power GM. But that's kind of my angle I was going for in terms of just painting the visor entirely, is just make it look like it's just illuminated. Since I'm sure you could get clever with modifying some like LEDs and doing stuff like that to light it up. But I feel like just seeing it in person, an LED just wouldn't really give that same effect. Just kind of standing there looking at it. To me, to each their own. Everybody's got their own preference. And then for the red parts that you see in this B-roll footage on the Power GM, that's just an SMS red. That's from the Scale Model Supply again. That's from their premium color line. It's a very sports car red kind of color to me. I almost think of like for the not officially, of course, but I very much think of like the Ferrari red, or like a red Corvette. It's very much like an exotic sports car shade of red to my eye when I've test sprayed it and used it on other builds. So that's where that color comes from. I put it in there. It's just like a good accent part, just for a little bit of subtlety there. Thank goodness I had a circle cutter. I have a Hobby Mio circle cutting template to cut circles, so that's what kind of made that aspect easier for me to do that on some of those parts. And of course the same with the thrusters on the backpack that you see. Water decals for this one, it's an amalgamation of stuff from 8th MS Team, from the 8th MS Team Master Grade water decals for the Ground Gundam. I used a little bit of leftover decals from G rework from the GM Sniper Custom that was also used on. It's an amalgamation, so I don't have an official water decal set I used for it. I'm honestly not 100% certain that there is an official G rework or W decal set for the Power GM. I didn't really look. I just decided I've got plenty of stuff here. I've got plenty of water decal sheets here that I had gotten for builds that never happened, so we're just gonna use what we got. So I kind of went a bit of a money-saving route, so to speak, for water decals on there. Yeah, this one, color scheme-wise, it was, obviously, since we were just kind of following an established color scheme here, there wasn't too much to really sit around and figure out, what colors do I put where, just because I was following the GM Sniper Custom I painted a while back for a reference point. So nothing too crazy trying to figure out where to place colors and all that good stuff. We just kind of followed an established one there, so nothing too crazy in that regard. The Power GM, again, that's a P-Bandai kit. There was only like 10 or 12 runners, so it was almost like a high grade in terms of the parts count. So not a crazy amount of parts there with this one. It was rather quick to assemble. Just it took a little bit of time since I was doing some masking and stuff on there to achieve the level of detail to come consistent with what we did on the GM Sniper Custom. It doesn't have the 3.0 hands. It's got the first generation Master Grade articulating hands. Would have been cool if it came with the 2.0 hands, honestly. Those are like if I'm not going to have the option of fixed hands, I would much rather have the 2.0 hands on a Master Grade kit over the 3.0. I'm personally just not a fan of the 3.0 Master Grade hands, and I think a lot of people share that sentiment too, just given their personal experience with them and having issues with them being holding up and being durable, not breaking when you're trying to like get them separated from their like those that casting runner piece that they come out in. So, anyways, that's just some of the impressions I had of the kit. Since it's the leg joints aren't as like the most articulate, not the same. It's definitely doesn't have the same level of articulation as the GM Sniper Custom, but all the same, it's a bulky boy. So I think we can appreciate that in terms of rule of cool. It's a bulky, heavy armored GM, and it's made for heavy duty combat, or at least its intention was. So rule of cool applies with this one. Definitely not the most articulate in terms of its ability to pose and stuff. You could still pull off some dynamic poses with it all the same. Just like the rule applies with model kits in general. Just some require a little bit more work than others, right? Just wanted to be transparent in that regard. That compared to its counterpart that I paired it up with, the GM Sniper Custom, it's nowhere near as like posable and articulate. But hey, like I said, rule of cool applies. It's a bulky space op boy, so it's still cool in my book. But anyways, I think we rambled enough about the kit. You've seen enough B-roll footage of it, and even seen some of it paired up on the turntable with the GM Sniper Custom. Things to come down the line here. We're going to next build, like I said, probably going to be the Jesta Master Grade. That'll be our next custom build. Our next actual build that we're going to do and feature on the channel, it's going to be another review. As I said before, it's the Master Grade Vidar. It's actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's a little back here off to the corner of my desk here, and we'll work on that one. We'll work on that one next. We're going to do a snap build. Some parts maybe I might not leave in there when I assemble it, again, because as I stated before, I will go back and paint this kit at some point later in time. So if it's going to be difficult to remove during the teardown process to paint this kit, I'm probably not going to put it in. I'm probably not going to be putting those parts in there. So again, I feel like my intention with doing these snap build reviews is to try to give you guys the impression of somebody that's going to, through the lens of somebody that has full intentions to go in there and paint it or customize, maybe even do some like customizing and modifications to it. I feel like I can't really give you the greatest impressions of like a kid of like, here's how great it poses and this and that, like just how I feel like a lot of other channels out there will do much better justice than I would be able to. But I feel like what I can do is, just given the amount of time that I've been painting the Gundam model kits from Bandai and even some other ones too that I just haven't really shown here, I feel like maybe that's the lane I can stay in and be respectful to other people out there that do reviews of these kits. I can just give you those impressions that I have, or maybe even the inspirations that come to me when I am building this kit, because sometimes when in the occasions that I do a snap build, I with the intention to go back to it and paint it later in time, sometimes those color schemes do start jumping out at me and like, oh man, yeah, when I get around to painting this, I really want to do that, or like this kind of color scheme or this kind of concept. It just, the inspiration comes from many different places. I don't really draw inspiration from just one single place. It can come through various mediums, like maybe it might be gaming characters, like their costumes or their outfits and stuff that inspire me, or maybe it might just be a concept like we did with the Real Grade Zeong that you guys saw. That was kind of like an emotional concept in a sense. It like through talking with a friend, that inner light we carry in our hearts, but the outer darkness that we portray to the world to protect ourselves and protect that inner light that we have, that kind of idea. So I hope this just kind of helps portray that inspiration that I draw from. It's not always just wacky colors. Sometimes it's various things that I pull from, that I draw inspiration from when I try to come up with color schemes to put on these kits. So Master Grade Power GM, cool kit. Too bad it's a P-Bandai. Otherwise, Otherwise, I would say, yeah, solid 8 out of 10 kit, honestly. It's just always a shame when, like, cool kits or, interesting model kits are just put behind the P-Bandai experience, in my opinion. I'm not really the biggest fan of that practice. Obviously, I wholeheartedly acknowledge I occasionally feed the P-Bandai machine myself. Not like I said, not personally the biggest fan of it, because I feel like cool kits should be accessible across the across the board. So that's just my opinion, just as a consumer. Everybody can have their own. Next custom that we're going to do, Master Grade Jesta. Not sure exactly when that's going to come, but that's our next custom coming up. Next model kit that will be featured on the channel, Master Grade Vidar. Snap build review, a painter's impressions, so to speak. And I still need to get around to doing the live stream for you guys. I know nobody's really clamoring and asking, hey, when's that going to happen? When's that going to happen? But just as holding myself personally accountable, since I promised it. I just, each time I try to do it, each time I have the ambitions to do that, it just, life happens. in which it is what it is. Obviously, my personal life will always take priority over doing this. So I will still make it happen. I still promised you guys, and I made that commitment to myself too. 100 subscriber special. We will do like I said, like an hour-long live stream. We'll chill. We'll work on a build of some sort, whether it's prepping a custom or maybe even working on the Master Grade VDARs, doing the snap build for that. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys all coming around here to watch this, and thank you again. So we'll see you next time.